Hello friends, welcome back for another gameplay. Today I'll be piloting Azusa Lost But Seeking. This is kind of like a turbo control deck. Azusa allows you to play up to 3 lands per turn. And then we have a bunch of utility lands that hopefully allow us to control the game. We are facing today a 5-color deck in the Causmic Spider-Man. It's a 5/5 for Wooburg that comes with Flying, First Strike, Trample, Lifelink, and Haste. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, other spiders you control gain Flying, First Strike, Trample, Lifelink, and Haste as well. This isn't really a spider tribal deck, although that kind of is the theme that you would think it goes off of. It's more just 5-color good stuff. So we'll see if we can't come out with a win over Spider-Man today. We did win the coin toss, so we're going to elect to be on the play. And our hand is a swath of 6 lands and then Conduit of Worlds. I think we're going to go ahead and keep Azusa, allowing us to hopefully on turn 3 get out a couple extra lands, and then her commander tax won't be as expensive. We will get waxed if our opponent has a counter spell, so we'll have to try to play around that. But we'll play a forest and pass to our opponent, who opens with Command Tower into Preordain. They'll pass back to us and we'll draw into a Seraph Sanctuary. We'll go ahead and play the Sanctuary to just gain a life. Puts us up to 21, and then we'll pass to our opponent. They'll get into a Misty Rain Forest and sacrifice it for a Hallowed Fountain. And they'll pass back to us. We draw a Pit of Offering, which will allow us to exile some of our opponent's graveyard. It does enter tapped. So I'm going to go ahead and go for Azusa this turn. They do have Command Tower, so hopefully they don't have Force Spike or any other similar type effects. But we'll try this and see if we can't get it to stick. And she does, so we'll go ahead and play a couple extra lands. We have nothing to do with any mana, so we'll go ahead and play the Pit of Offering since it enters tapped. We'll exile just the 2 cards in our opponent's graveyard. And then our second land we'll play as the Shifting Woodland. And with that, we'll pass back to our opponent. They get into a Windswept Heath and sacrifice it for a Scrub land into an Orcish Bowmaster. So we'll take 1 to the face, and they'll amass an army of orcs. Pass back to us, and we draw into Beseju, who endures. And we'll go ahead and play the Tomb of Yawgmoth and then a couple forests into the Conduit of Worlds. And then I think we'll go ahead and pass to our opponent. They'll get into a 4th Aerlingus, so they'll make a couple of hasty Knight tokens and potentially get the Monarch this turn, swinging in for 4. So we'll go ahead and take that down to 16, and then they'll draw off Monarch at the end of turn, and they'll pass back to us. We draw into a Verdant Catacombs, so getting kind of unfortunate draws in that we're 12 cards deep into our deck and we've only gotten 2 non-lands. We'll go ahead and play the Verdant Catacombs, thin our deck a little bit by paying a life. We'll get a Gingerbread Cabin. It'll get us a food token, which will hopefully extend the game just a little bit. And then I think we get rid of our opponent's Command Tower with Beseju and then replay it from our graveyard. Command Tower to be destroyed. They do get a Volcanic Island. Oh, I thought the land had to be a basic. Well, we'll go ahead and replay Beseju. Oh shoot, you know what? I should have played Verdant Catacombs several times to continue thinning my deck. Well, we'll do the Verdant Catacombs now, get another forest, and that's it for lands that we can play this turn. And with that, we'll pass to our opponent. Arid Mesa, and then they'll get into their commander. So we're about to get hit for a lot right here. Couple of Knight tokens and Spider-Man in for 9, so we'll take that and go down to 5. They'll draw off Monarch, and then we'll crack this food token at the end of turn just to get a little extra life. Up to 8, and we draw into a forest. Bummer. I think that's going to be a good game. So we'll just go ahead and pass to our opponent, as I don't think I have anything else I can do right here. They'll Abrupt Decay Azusa. She'll go back to the command zone. And then they'll swing in for lethal. So we lose game 1. So we'll elect to be on the play. I perhaps kept too greedy of a hand, but I really thought I'd likely get into something. But I didn't really get anything usable. But here we've got a little bit better of a hand, so we'll go ahead and keep this. And we'll open with just a basic Oh, yeah, keep. Yeah, we'll go ahead and play the forests and leave up Worldly Tutor for the... Well, maybe we should play it before they get into a counterspell. Yeah, let's do that. Play the Worldly Tutor. And I think we're going to grab the Scoot Swarm. Well, not grab it. We'll put it on top of our library. And that'll hopefully allow us to overwhelm our opponent. They get into a starting town, and then we draw into that Scoot Swarm. We'll go ahead and play the Radiant Fountain, gain a couple of life, and pass to our opponent. Cling to Dust, so they'll exile a card from our graveyard and draw a card. Now we see Ponder, and they pass back to us. We draw into a Bridgeworks Battle, and I think we go ahead and play Urza's Cave, and we try for this Scoot Swarm, and it'll stick. With that, we'll pass back to our opponent. They'll go ahead and play 4th Aerolingus again, so they'll get just 1 night, but they'll swing for 2 and get Monarch. They'll draw at the end of turn off Monarch, and then we get into a Petrified Field. I think we play the Petrified Field. That'll trigger the Scoot Swarm. And then let's go ahead and play Cultivate. Actually, let's go ahead and play Oracle of Moldiah and potentially play extra lands off the top of our library. And right now we have Riveter's Overlook there, so we'll go ahead and play that. We'll get another Scoot Swarm trigger. The Overlook will enter, so we'll gain a life, and then sack it to get a Forest. That'll trigger the Scoot Swarm again, and next turn we should get up to 6 lands. We've got Ugin sitting on top of our library, so he's a few turns away. But we'll go ahead and swing in and take back the Monarch, or not take it back, but get it in the first place. And then our opponent down to 17. We draw off Monarch, we get into Ugin, and then our opponent's going to just play a land and pass back to us. We have a Forest on top we're going to draw into, and the next card on top is a Mulch, so we can't play that. Let's go ahead and play the Cultivate, which will allow us to shuffle our library and potentially get another land on top. And that's going to be countered unless we can pay. And I don't think we're gonna have enough. Yeah, it's gonna be 5 for us to counter that, so Cultivate will not stick. We'll go ahead and play a Forest. Scoot Swarm will make another Scoot Swarm, and then we'll play a Maze of Ith and we'll get even more Scoot Swarms. And then we'll go ahead and swing for 3 with our insect tokens. Likely 1 to get eaten, and that's okay. Opponent down to 15. We do have 3 remaining. I want to save this Bridgeworks Battle for potentially knocking an opponent out. Perhaps we get into Azusa. Yeah, let's do that. Let's play Azusa. Can't really use it right now, but oh, she's gonna get washed away. So back to the command zone, and we'll pass back to our opponent. We draw into a Mulch. Now we've got a Tranquil Thicket on top of our library, and our opponent just to play a Stomping Ground and pass back to us. We're likely to see Spider-Man next turn. We've got a Urza's Mine on top of our library, so we'll go ahead and play that. That'll trigger all the Scoot Swarms. Spider Sense is going to counter the triggered ability of maybe 1 of the Scoot Swarms. Yeah, and then 3 of them will trigger. Now we've got a Boseiju who endures, so we'll play that off the top of our library, and that'll trigger even more Scoot Swarms. Battlefield getting quite full now. We've got a Disruptor Flute on top of our library. I think we go ahead and play Ugin, remove the Knight, and then swing all in. So we'll activate Ugin, deal 3 damage to this Knight token, and then we'll go ahead and swing. That'll bring our opponent, well, they're going to get rid of Oracle of Moldiah, so that's unfortunate. I can't do anything there to protect it. So Oracle of Moldiah to go to the graveyard, and then our opponent down to 7. And with that, we'll just pass back to our opponent, drawing for Monarch at the end of turn. And then we do see Spider-Man, the lifelink being the trouble. And then he'll just pass back to us. We could minus Ugin, but I think we plus him and use the Bridgeworks Battle just so we can get a little bit closer to this ult. Don't know that we're going to need it, but let's go ahead and do that. He should have 3 damage. It's hard for us to see because it's showing all these abilities. We just need to get in 2 damage on him, so we'll use the Bridgeworks Battle, give a creature +2/+2, have him fight. So our insect's gonna die as well as our opponent. Let's go ahead and play a Tranquil Thicket while we've got all these Scoot Swarms out. We'll get a whole bunch more Scoot Swarms, and then we'll go ahead and swing with everything, and that'll knock our opponent out. So 1 game apiece. we'll get into our final game here, and our opponent gonna go first since they lost game 2. I think this is a keepable hand, so we'll go ahead and keep, and our opponent to play Marsh Flats to open the game into a Meticulous Archive. They will surveil a Ponder to the bottom, or to the graveyard I should say, and pass back to us. We draw into Emrakul the World Anew. I think we go ahead and play Wooded Foothills into a green source to get out Exploration. Guess we'll get a basic Forest and then play Exploration into a War Room, and then use that War Room to play an Expedition or Expedition map. And with that, we'll pass back to our opponent. Very good turn 1 for us. Noble Hierarch from Spider-Man, and then he'll pass back to us. We draw into a Fabled Passage, and I think we try to get out the Oracle of Moldiah. Oh, we can't quite get there because Fabled Passage needs 4 lands to be untapped, and we would only have access to 3 after we play Study Hall. So we'll go ahead and play Fabled Passage, and I think probably crack our Expedition map at the end of our opponent's turn. Sacrifice the Fabled Passage, get a Forest, and pass back to our opponent. Spider-Man is going to pick Island as the Multiverse Passage enters the battlefield, so he's got access to a blue source there. Noble Hierarch to attack for 1 off of the Exalted trigger. So we'll go down to 18, and then we'll see a Deathrite Shaman from our opponent, and then we'll go ahead and crack the Expedition map at the end of turn. I think the right grab is going to be this Tectonic Edge. If we get into just one of our Crucible of Worlds effects, that would allow us to really keep our opponent's commander off the battlefield and kind of control the game that way. So we'll go ahead and play this Tectonic Edge, play our Study Hall, and then let's go ahead and try for this Cultivate. We'll get 2 forests, 1 to our hand. So it looks like that went through, so likely our opponent doesn't have any counter magic. We've got Tectonic Edge up for when they play a land, and we'll go ahead and pass back to our opponent. Ooh, don't like this. Teferi Time Raveler makes it so that we can only play at sorcery speed, and then gives him flash for all his stuff. Ooh, and then likely gonna bounce our Exploration back to our hand. Doesn't really hurt too much now at this point, so that's gonna go ahead and hit. He will bounce the Exploration and then go to combat attacking for 2. Exalted trigger off of the Hierarch on the Deathrite Shaman, and then we'll go ahead and I was planning on using the Tectonic Edge to remove a land of our opponent's, but I think I want to play this All Is Dust. Well, maybe I wait 1 more turn. He's only going to get instant speed. I just need to get into 1 more land. We have the Oracle of Moldiah. I don't think he's got counter magic in his hand. No, I think using the mana is the right choice right now, and I don't think these are hurting us too bad. I think we'll get into that land. Let's go ahead and activate this. We'll get rid of the Horizon of Progress, sacrificing our Tectonic Edge, our opponent back down to 3 lands. We draw into Life from the Loam, and we actually have 3 lands in our graveyard right now. I think we go ahead and play a Forest. Let's get out our Oracle of Moldiah. We've got Prismatic Vista sitting on top of our library, so we'll go ahead and play that. We've also got a Urza's Power Plant, so let's get out the Exploration so that we can also play that off the top of our library. And now a Slippery Karst on top of our library. Let's play Azusa so we can get into that Slippery Karst. Shoot, we have to use the Prismatic Vista. Well, that's gonna get gone, but I think we go ahead. Yeah, let's leave that. No, I don't know what the right choice is here. I think we crack the Prismatic Vista and get a land and then get into Azusa. And cross our fingers we got something on top of our library that we can use to, or can play off of the Oracle. So we'll get into a Forest, then we'll play Azusa. She'll hit, and now on top of our library is an Arboreal Grazer, so can't play that. We're out of mana, so with that we'll just pass back to our opponent. Teferi to +1, and now we'll see an Oko from our opponent, so that is rough. He's going to turn his Noble Hierarch into a 3/3. Draw into our Arboreal Grazer. We've got a Horn of Greed on top of our library. Can't get into that. I think we need to crack the All Is Dust right now, which kind of sucks, as I was hoping to get a little bit deeper with, Azusa and the Oracle. We can at least play Life from the Loam and get some lands back right now and potentially shuffle our library. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll get back a Tectonic Edge, Fabled Passage, and a Wooded Foothills. It's going to cost us 2. Let's go ahead and play the Tectonic Edge. We'll get rid of their tropical island just in case. Cost us 1. And then I think we play these 2 into the All Is Dust. So Wooded Foothills, sacrifice it for a life, get us, does this come in untapped? Yeah, we'll get us a gingerbread cabin just for the food token, which will extend our life a little bit. And then we'll play a Fabled Passage, get into a forest. Leaves us with, oh shoot, I should have been checking the top of my library. I should have checked it after the last one, but I did get a Castle Garen Brig. Unfortunately, I forgot to look. We've got an Ice-Till Explorer on top of our library now, which allows us to play lands from our graveyard, which is great. Hopefully we can draw into that, but I think right now we play All Is Dust. Well, let's go ahead and swing just to see what our opponent does. They're probably gonna block our creatures, but we'll swing anyway. No bluffs to be taken here. No, Deathrite Shaman to exile Tectonic Edge. That's a good play right there. I like that from our opponent. And then we'll go ahead and activate or play All Is Dust. So that'll wipe the board. Azusa back to the command zone. And we'll go ahead and just play the Arboreal Grazer just so we have something out. We've only got the 1 mana anyway. And we'll pass to our opponent. They don't get into a land. And we could play the Life from the Loam effect, but I got that Till guy on top of my library, so I don't think I want to do it. So we'll draw into the Ice-Till Explorer. We'll go ahead and play the Ice-Till Explorer, play the Fabled Passage from our graveyard, and Tishana's Tidebender is going to be played from our opponent. So that's going to counter our mill ability and give them a 3/2 body. We'll go ahead and activate the Fabled Passage, thin our deck a little bit more, get into a forest, and then let's draw a card off of the War Room. Down to 13 life. We could get the Life from the Loam effect, but I don't think we want these lands. We actually need to get into something to apply some pressure, so we'll say no. We draw a Dust Bowl, so we can start getting rid of our opponent's non-basic lands next turn and then bringing them back, so that'll be very strong. But for now, we'll just pass to our opponent, and they don't get into anything. We'll go ahead and sacrifice this food at the end of turn to gain some life. Go up to 16. Life from the Loam effect will pass on. We draw into a world map. Go ahead and play the Dust Bowl. Let's crack the Dust Bowl, destroy their Temple Garden. We can sacrifice any land. Well, I think I want to sacrifice the Dust Bowl so I can bring it back. So we'll do that. We'll go ahead and play the Dust Bowl from our graveyard. Oh, I need Azusa so I can play additional lands. So we'll pay 5 for her. I don't want the Scry. I would like the mana. Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and get the, oh, what? Why can't I get it back? May play an additional land. You may play land cards from your graveyard. I'm not sure why, but I'm not able to get the Dust Bowl back from my graveyard. So we'll just go ahead and activate our War Room. Well, we'll leave our mana up. Pass. Let's attack for 2. Our opponent down to 15, and then we'll go ahead and pass to them. They'll swing with Tishana for 3. We don't need to block that, so we'll go ahead and take it. And then at the end of turn, we'll play or activate the War Room to draw a card and lose a life. Down to 12, and we draw into an Arid Archway. We'll go ahead and activate the Life from the Loam so we can get that Dust Bowl back. I'm not sure why the Ice-Till Explorer, what's going wrong here that we're not able to play lands from our graveyard off of the Ice-Till Explorer, but let's play the Life from the Loam. We got a Dark Depths into our graveyard. That's always fun. But let's get the Dust Bowl. We can get the Dark Depths, and let's get a Fabled Passage. It's gonna cost us 2, and they're gonna counter that, so that stinks. We'll go ahead and play the Arid Archway. When it enters, we have to bounce one of our lands. I should have tapped for a green before I did that, but I'm gonna get the Gingerbread Cabin back just so I can get another food token, and then we'll play the World Map for 1. Let's see if we can play from our graveyard again. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. This guy's not allowing us to play cards from our graveyards. I guess the Tishana's Tidebender is blocking us from being able to use the Ice-Till Explorer's abilities. That'd be my best guess, but I'm not actually sure. And with that, we'll go ahead and go to combat, swing for 2 on our opponent. They'll go down to 13. They'll swing back for 3 with Tishana. We'll go ahead and take that down to 9. And then we'll activate the War Room at the... Actually, let's activate the World Map. We'll go get any land we want. And that's going to get countered by Tail's End. We'll go ahead and activate the War Room. paying a life down to 8, drawing a card. Our opponent is tapped out, but I think we're going to go for this Emrakul next turn. So let's just draw a regular card. We get into Archdruid's Charm, and then let's activate this food token at the end of turn to gain some extra life. We'll go up to 11, and then we will not use this Life from the Loam. We draw into a Shifting Woodland. I think we go ahead and play the Archdruid's Charm to put a plus counter on our Ice Till and have it deal damage equal to its power to this Tishana, and see if we can't play lands from our graveyard after that. Cost us 3 green. It will get removed. Now let's try and get a land. We'll go for this Dust Bowl. Yeah, that's what was blocking us. So then we'll mill a card, and then let's go ahead and get rid of his lands. This is kind of the mean way to play, but it's also the quote-unquote right way to play. We'll sacrifice the Dust Bowl and then play it again, and then activate it again, and then play it again. And we've maxed out how many lands we can play. Still can't get into the Emrakul because of mana restrictions. So we'll just go to combat and swing with Azusa and Insect Scout. Our opponent down to 9. We'll pass back to them. They'll get into an Underground Sea. They'll cast Fatal Push to remove the Arboreal Grazer. That's fine. That'll go through. Pass back to us. At the end of turn, let's go ahead and activate the Dust Bowl. Sacrifice the Dust Bowl. Well, let's sacrifice the Gingerbread Cabin so we can get back some food tokens. No, we don't want to. Well, no, we don't want to get that. We'll just draw whatever we get. We get into a Yawamaya Cradle of Growth. So we'll go ahead and play that as one of our lands for turn. We'll get back a Gingerbread Cabin from our graveyard. Cabin's gonna make us a food. We'll mill a card off of the Ice Till. We'll get back the Dark Depths just for fun. And let's play a Fabled Passage as well, sacrificing it into one of the few forests we have left in our library. Mill a couple cards off of those two, and then we'll go to combat and swing for 4. In a real game, your opponent's probably going to scoop, but we'll go ahead and play this one out. They'll get into a Windswept Heath, sacrifice it for a Hollowwood Fountain, and they'll go ahead and pass back to us. We'll activate the Dust Bowl to remove it. It's going to cost us 3. We'll sacrifice the Gingerbread Cabin. We'll go ahead and activate the War Room to draw a card and lose a life. We get into Urza's Tower, and then let's go ahead and remove ice counters. We'll pass on the Life from the Loam effect. We draw into a Scavenger Ground, so I think we go ahead and play the Scavenger Grounds, and then we can just go straight to combat and attack for 4, and that'll knock our opponent out. Azusa to win 2-1 over Causmic Spider-Man. That last game, a bit of a non-game, as I was able to control my opponent and remove all of his lands. Not very fun to play against, as I've been on that side where Spider-Man's at, but that's kind of what Azusa is about. You just try to turbo out in front of your opponent and then control what they can do. If you made it this far, you get to answer our question of the day, it being Snowflake Appreciation Day. Didn't even know that was a thing. Let me know down in the comments your favorite snow type activity to do. Mine is going snow sledding with my kids. We don't get to do that a whole lot since we moved from an area where we got snow just about every year to somewhere that it might snow every 7, but lots of good memories made out snow sledding with my kids. YouTube thinks you'll like the video in the top right. Otherwise, you could check out one of the playlists on the bottom. If you liked the video, consider subscribing by clicking the button in the top left. And if you want to support the channel, you can do so by giving this video a thumbs up or leaving a comment with your thoughts below. Thanks for watching and have a great day.